What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tuck Rule Takes, episode 64. The first episode of the Patriots offseason. I'm Mike Sullivan. With me, as always, Liam McDade, and I think like our pseudo pretty much third co-host for whenever he has time in his busy schedule. Big Al is here as well. Season's over, guys.
Mercifully.
Season's over. I will I don't know, maybe I could throw it out there. Does anyone have any good metaphors or something that maybe they can compare this season to something? Liam, maybe you have something.
As a matter of fact, I do, Mike. This season is just reminiscent of growing up with a dog, and that dog gets stricken with terminal cancer. And you enjoy your time with the dog, even though you know it's going to come to a very sad, bitter end. You know it's coming, and eventually you put that dog down. And we put that dog down the other day, and now we're getting back up on the horse, dusting ourselves off a little bit. And come the end of next September, or end of next summer in September, we're going to go get ourselves a new fucking dog. Just like all other dog owners, you replace that dog.
I mean, that's the perfect metaphor. That's definitely one that I've never heard before, other than just that. Than when you just said it there.
So, breaking it out.
Al, what are your thoughts before we dive into this? And then I don't even know where metaphors. I don't even know where this is going to go. We're just going to talk about the game a little bit, talk about a bunch of things, and then just try to feel a little better heading into the off season. But Al, where are you right now?
So right now, I mean, I'm just going to come out and say it. You had a tweet specifically that said, if you're a Patriots fan and you're happy this season's over, like get the hell out of here. I'm going to challenge you on that. And here's why.
Okay.
You obviously know, you guys know. I know there's the inside joke that I hate Mac Jones. It's a thing now, and I understand that. Okay. Yeah. See, but you guys know I love watching this team and being around this team as much as possible. Liam, you've seen it in person when we've gone to training camps together.
Indeed.
So here's my thing. I'm happy this season is over because it was just so torturous to watch this offense and the special teams. And I hope we're going to talk about that tonight, which I think we're going to.
God, unfortunately.
Yes. Right. Ugh. And the thing is, right, I think that there are big changes coming, and I wanted it to get started sooner rather than later. So that way we can know, okay, what's the change at offensive coordinator? Who are we bringing in? Are we going to bring in a guy, a wide receiver to help us, which I know we'll talk about later? Are we going to bring in a good offensive coordinator? Because there's names out there. What's the draft going to look like? Because guess what? This team, this 2022 team was what they were. They were an 8-9 football team. Maybe should have been 9-8 or 10-7, but guess what? It's what they were.
I know, it's just disgusting.
I know it is.
Because maybe if the referees could play a fair fucking game, then we'd be a little above
that's beyond the point. The point is this team was what it was. I'm glad it's over. Now it's time to start thinking about the good things that can happen, because I do think, especially with that letter that Robert Kraft sent out to season ticket holders, changes are coming. So I'm excited to see where this team goes, because I think that they are going to go in a completely different direction in some facets of the game for the 2023 season. So that's why I'm glad this season's over.
Okay, and I get that, and I'll respond to that in a second. But I did, since you brought it up, I forgot to write down the notes. I wanted to talk about it. Why is everybody making such a big deal about this email that Robert Kraft sent out? Like it was like
I think people are just like genuinely excited that it's like, okay, the owner knows what's going on. Now he's gonna say, okay, stuff's coming. So I think people are genuinely excited that stuff's actually going to happen. And it's not all just smoke and mirrors.
I had my buddy who's a Broncos fan coming out and saying that Kraft is saying this because Bill Belichick called him out the other week saying that we need to get better players and whatnot. So other fan bases fans are taking it as they're feuding. I'm like, no. Kraft isn't dumb. Like, he knows he needs more. He's not spending money.
Very weird. Like, Al, I get it from your standpoint where it's like, fans are, changes are coming, awesome. But like the stuff I was seeing, it was like the eye emojis, and it was like, like Kraft major. It was coming from like a negative thing, and I was like, what? No. Like very just very weird. But But no, to go with what you said, Al, your reasoning why you wanted the season to end. I get it. You're thinking ahead. You're thinking, which is what we're going to talk about here. You're thinking about the moves they're going to make, all this fun stuff. But just like how I saw it, it just reeked of just what this fan base was all year, which is they didn't even want to watch the team. It just turned into, thank God this season's over, or oh God, this so tough to watch. Thank God I don't have to watch another Patriots game, and like blah blah blah. And it's like I don't like. It wasn't as fun as past years because just purely because of winning, but it just, I don't know. It just seemed like that just struck me the wrong way. And I remember seeing the exact tweet, and it was just someone who I think actually she might have even wrote for Couch Guy back in the day, but she said something basically just saying like I'm pumped to see her, like thank God that's over. And that just made me want to tweet that. And I was like, I don't get it. Like I would never, even if I think that, I would never come out and just be like, oh, thank God that's over, because it's over. We have 8 months now of no Patriots football at all. Like that's not exciting to me. Like I'm not like I'm gonna, as much as I and Liam, like you, Al, we want all these changes, because now like this is going to be a very exciting off season, I think. But like I would never sit there and be like, oh, thank God. Like that would never be the first thing that, so it's just like a slight difference in just like mindsets. That's all. Nothing crazy.
It's also like, what were you forced to watch it? Was it like a Clockwork Orange where you're strapped with leather bound in a chair with little things holding open your eyelids? No one forced you to watch the fucking Patriots. Go do something else with your Sunday. If it was such a burden to watch the team, quit bitching. It's so annoying to me. It's like, just ride it out. If it's a good game, you enjoy it. If it's a bad game, then you blow some steam off cussing at your TV. Like that's what football is. Don't take it so seriously.
Yeah, that's where I stood on it. But Al, like I said, I get what you're saying. I think we're all kind of excited to move on there. But yeah, I guess we'll just dive in the game. I think we should start the last game of the year how Liam, we used to always start talking about Pat's games. That's Mac Jones. 26 of 40, 243, 3 touchdowns and 3 picks with an asterisk. With an asterisk next to it. Definitely an asterisk, because I don't think 2 of those 3 I don't think were completely on him. But again, it's still a stat, so it's still 3 picks. It is what it is. But I thought even with the picks, good game.
It was
right.
It was and it wasn't. It had its good moments and it had its bad.
Yeah, you guys talking about Mac, right? Because I cut out for a second.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I thought that for the most part, like I had no real qualms with Mac. I mean, even down to when he was throwing his picks at the end. I mean, that just seemed like he was just trying to chuck it up. But I mean, either way, we'll get into the exact things, but. I liked him. I liked it. 17 to 17 on the touchdown drives, 3 touchdowns. I mean, nothing to hate about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I really think he was fine till, like you said, it went off the rails toward the end when he was desperately trying to make something happen. And I get that. Like at that point, the season's on the line. You're just scratching and clawing.
Right. And the thing is, too, on the 3 touchdown drives that the Patriots had, Mac Jones was 17 for 17 with 169 yards. 3 touchdown passes, no picks. And by the way, I don't know if you noticed this, Mike and Liam, but where was Mac Jones and where was the offense when these touchdowns were happening? How were they set up formation-wise? Where was Mac?
Not in the shotgun.
Not in shotgun, under center.
Yep.
Because under play action, guys, there's this crazy thing. You ready? Play action works. And Mac Jones makes play action work.
Yep.
It's amazing that Matt Patricia figured that out in week 18.
I can think of like 3 shotgun plays just offhand from that game that in my mind, like those worked just fine. I don't think it's just an under center thing. Like that seems like a dramatic take to me where
the numbers
opinion, because I wasn't particularly paying attention to where Mac was lining up, but I know 3 plays offhand that I was like, hey,
give us an all 22 review of those, and then we'll take it seriously.
All right, well, Let me go back and review the film before I exactly pull this up, because I don't want to make a
in
fool
all
out of
22.
myself.
That's what you're gonna do, right?
No, it was.
I will. Yes, 100%. I do actually have the all 22 film.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, Liam. Where like the shotgun. I mean, the shotgun wasn't completely bad. It's just I don't know. For some reason, like they just put him back there too much. Like especially when you see the success that he has under center or play action, which I mean, play action. He was 9 of 9 with like 92 yards and a touchdown or 2 touchdowns or something. So he killed it. He killed it in play action too. So.
You got to consider, I feel like a fucking broken record here, because every week I'm harping on the offensive line, but you put somebody in shotgun to give them more time. It takes the defensive lineman longer to get to somebody in shotgun than it would somebody under center. They have more motion to do, and they're more distracted, usually handing it off or stepping right back. So when you put somebody in shotgun, you're usually saying the offensive line isn't so great. We just want to get the ball and get rid of this thing quickly. This was one of the games where the offensive line held up for the vast majority. It had a few pretty terrible plays where Mac got molly-whopped on a few plays that actually looked pretty ugly. But for the most part, considering how the offensive line is held up, this was in the upper half of offensive line play games. Definitely. And it showed when Mac Jones had protection, he was big balling. Mm-hmm. So I think that's just one of the things where the Patriots are like, all right, line's blocking today. Let's try some play action. Let's put them under center. Let's see if we can do this. We'll fake the stretch outside and throw opposing side. Stuff like that you can do when they're blocking. And then you look at the Jets game where we had 3 offensive points and everything's out of the shotgun because we couldn't block anyone. So it's like, they're like, we're just going to get the ball out. Just have them stand back there. It's all circumstantial.
Yeah, I think, Al, I might have texted you after we talked a couple weeks ago where I was like, do you think that that's why maybe they have him in the shotgun so much? Is because they're afraid the offensive line can't block? So it's like you might as well just start the play a few steps back anyway, just to give him as much time as he can to, not get destroyed back there, Right. I don't know.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but I mean, again,
that's what teams do with smaller quarterbacks too. Drew Brees, Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, they all have them in the shotgun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and it's just, I mean, it's all a moot point at this point. It's like, hopefully they just, learn from it next year. I don't know, but overall though, I mean, you saw like in kind of Mac Jones and the offense. I guess you guys will dive into his picks. So the first pick I believe was the one to Aguilar, right?
Yep.
That was the first one. Okay. I am the 2022 season is done. Listen, I like Nelson Aguilar. I thought he was a good piece. I'm pumped that he's here.
We're really getting to this early in the show.
We are diving right into it. Liam, this is kind of somewhat directed at you. And Al, wow. If you, however it is, Nelson Aguilar, I don't even care about the drops. The drops are what it is, the drop, who cares? It's human error, whatever. The mental errors. This guy stops on too many routes, it seems like. The Hail Mary in what game did they throw the Hail Mary? Was that the Cincinnati game?
Vikings.
But
I think it was the Vikings
game. Okay, the Vikings game. And then on that one, he either stopped on the route, him and Mac weren't on the same page, which that just leads to the offense being a whole issue. But it seemed like Mac thought that he was gonna kind of keep running. And then Aguilar either just stopped running, didn't know what the play was. He wasn't on the same page. I don't know what it was. Either way, there was some sort of miscommunication. And it doesn't look good on your boy, Nelly. Now, I am still Nellyville. I do still have a residence in Nellyville. I'm currently, I have.
It's like a condo or an apartment, though. It's not a house.
It's an Airbnb right now. I'm not staying there currently, but I will every once in a while come back. But I mean, what say you, Mayor of Nellyville, about that play and just Nelson Aguilar as a whole this year?
Well, at some point, when is Mac Jones going to realize that the motherfucker stops on his routes and start throwing it to him when he stops? It's like, come on, how many times does he have to do it before you realize he's going to stop mid-route, throw it to where he stops? No, it is fucking, know, right? It is ridiculous though. Like, it's fucking annoying. I get it. I want Nelly to be the, best wide receiver in the league, like I know he can be, but it was just a tough season all around. The most annoying thing is he's a tease. Like, he gives you these great plays. The Steelers touchdown, like, when he's rolling. He caught Mac's first touchdown pass in the league. He's shifty. He's fast. he looks like a guy that you can give him end arounds. You can do so many things with him. You can throw it out to him as a screen and he can make something happen. But you look at all like this potential where you're like, he has all the intangibles. And then you look at like the bonehead plays. And I don't know if it was just a team error across the board because we saw it with, Al's boy, Kendrick Bourne as well. I'm not going to say this was all Nelly. There were certainly across the board. There were a lot of wide receiver errors, drops, stupid mistakes.
Yep.
I don't know. It's just so annoying. And that's why I'm so frustrated. I go out on a limb for this guy. He looks fantastic for 3 plays a game, and then he looks terrible for 4 plays a game. I don't know. As the mayor, I am holding my ground, keeping my rent. I know this guy's a stud, and whether it's the Patriots or another team next year, I will stand proudly with Nelly and buy whatever jersey he has next year. I have his Eagles, I have his Patriots. Hell, as long as he doesn't go to the Cowboys, I will buy his next jersey. Still a fan, but for some reason, there was a sickness that went through the wide receiver core meeting room, and Kendrick Bourne got it bad, Nelly got it bad.
Nelson Aguilar is on Liam's list of people. You can't see him there, but he's there.
He is, as he should be. Yes, 100%. Because I would die for Nelly. Like anything he wants, he tells me to jump. I ask how far. I will blow up buildings. I will skydive. I will do anything for Nelly. Anything he asks, easy.
Okay, so Al, what do you think about that first pick? Since that is the topic, by the way, Max picks, not expressing our love for Nelson Aguilar. That is the.
I thought. Well, you were asking me to defend Nellyville, so that's where I'm
going to do that.
I set you up for that one.
Yeah, well, because I am the residential Nelly guy, so I will stand. It wasn't a great year. If I have to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I will give it a 6. A lot to be desired, but it wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
So as far as the actual pick is concerned, I think it's 50-50, right? I think it's not greatly thrown ball by Mac, but I also think that it's 50% on Aguilar for not running the route completely and then just leading to it. I mean, at that point, you have to try to play defensive back a little bit and try to, try to knock it away. Exactly.
Yeah. Punch him in the dick.
Knock it away, like whatever you got to do. Even if you have to get an offensive pass interference, like keep the drive alive because the Patriots were moving the ball. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was when they came out of the half. I think that's when they came out of halftime. They were moving right down the field. So I put it there as far as, and just real quick, and I'll keep this to like a minute. As far as Aguilar goes, I'm very glad to see him go. I'll pack his bags and I'll drive him to Logan right now and say, thanks for everything, but we don't need you next year. You're not going to need him because guess what? You're going to get a true number 1 receiver. No, it's not Kendrick Bourne, but you're going to get an actual number 1
Kendrick Bourne was a game changer.
He can be a game changer. You watch next year. And if he's not, I'll come on this podcast and then I'm wrong. But anyways, so
thanks for the Argonauts.
Yeah,
I know. What a reference.
That's a real team.
But hey, by the way, I didn't interrupt you when you went off in your little spiel. So shoot.
No, 100%. I'm just when you criticize Nelly, I got to say something.
Listen, he deserves to be criticized because
you are in uncharted waters right now.
Listen, how many touchdown receptions did he have this year? 2 touchdown receptions in 16 games.
Sorry, how many did Kendrick Bourne have?
I think he had 2 as well.
Yep.
So you can't compare. So it's like, okay, they both equally sucked. At least Kendrick Bourne can stick around. Nelson Aguilar, if the Patriots really wanted him back, then they would re-sign him. And Kendrick Bourne's going to be back here because he's already said he wants to be back here. He's not going to request a trade. So guess what? Nelson Aguilar, you can go buy his jersey. You can wave to him bye-bye as he's flying out to where he's probably going to end up, honestly. I think he's going to end up in
Cincinnati. He's going to kill it.
Okay, fine. 3 places. Cincinnati, Dallas, or what was the other place that needed a receiver? There was one other team
I was thinking about Dallas. Today. Oh, my God.
Maybe like Chicago or something like that. They need a receiver. Cleveland needs a receiver for your boy Deshaun.
Watch. I'll go with the Chiefs.
He better retire before he goes to the Cowboys.
But listen, Aguilar, I'm glad his Patriots days are pretty much over. They need another receiver in that room to go along with, Kendrick Bourne and Tyquan Thornton. Hopefully re-sign Jacoby Myers. You can roll your eyes all you want, but you know as well as I do, Nelly's done.
Get rid of Kendrick Bourne, too. If I'm Elon, I put him in a space pod and shoot him off to a random planet.
Hey, at least he finishes running the routes. He may get penalty, but at least he finishes running his route. Barely. At least he
and then what happens at the end of them? He drops wide open, false start.
How many times
get to run the route?
Does Kendrick Bourne have an actual video dedicated to him about how frequently he drops passes? Correct me if I'm wrong there.
Did Kendrick Bourne catch a Super Bowl record 13 catches? I don't think so.
No, that's where I call it. That's where I draw the line. We're not talking about the Super Bowl. That's not. See, this is the red
He's
flag.
a proven player.
Wait, was that Super Bowl? He's a champion. 52?
Champion.
Was that Super Bowl 52?
Yes.
I don't know numbers. I don't know.
Was it the Super Bowl against the Patriots, you Nimrod?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's oh my god. All right, next topic, please.
Yeah,
like, he doesn't even know what.
Sorry,
he
not
doesn't even know
everyone's a
what
math
Super Bowl
teacher.
he won.
I can't read Roman numerals.
Well, you need to go
I
back
will
to
say that's
grade,
very annoying. That's very annoying when it comes to Super Bowl. So like, oh, Super Bowl, whatever. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. You might as well be.
Like,
you might as well be talking a different language, which you are.
Tell me the year. If you're talking 2017, yeah, it was that year.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Well, listen, Nelson Aguilar. It's like actually. Let's move on.
He'll be gone. This is the last year of
him and Bourne can pack each other's bags.
He's gone. If Kendrick Bourne does get traded though, that's an extra $6 million that opens up for the Patriots. So I wouldn't hate that.
That sounds like a win-win.
Wouldn't hate that either. But I don't know. The second pick for Mac when he threw it to Hunter Henry, I was a little high. Patriots were down at that point. I think it was 3rd and 10. So whatever, you're trying to give your guy a play. Another thing, it is what it is. And then
he connected on that 2 times earlier in the game too. It's so fun.
Exactly. Exactly. And then
a little bit high, but not ridiculous.
No, nothing crazy. And then the third one, I don't put on him at all. The one that Damian Harris basically like laid up on a silver platter to the Bills. So I don't know. It is what it is. Mac Jones. I'm still very much in on him. Liam, I know you are. Al, I know you probably aren't. How do you feel about him moving forward? Do you think that Mac Jones, McCorkle,
trade for Justin Fields?
Oh God. I'm going to say like a really quick story. Do you guys remember when Couch Guy used to do the NFL streams like live on Twitch?
Yep. Yeah.
So if you were watching my reaction when they didn't get Justin Fields, you would have thought that someone stuck a stake through my heart. Yeah. Because at the time I wanted Fields. And also I will admit this, and I have turned my opinion around on this. When they first got Mac Jones, I was sick about it because I was like, really, Mac Jones, this is the guy we're getting. Then I watched it and I was like, you know what? Mm-hmm. All right, let's give this guy a chance. Let's see what he's got. He won a natty, best completion percentage in all of college that year in 2020. And then obviously he had last year. And so that's why I kind of turned it around. But just seeing like that reaction now, it's like night and day. I'm like, wow, this guy, I really harped on him and I was wrong about him, especially in year 1. But anyways, give Mac Jones a 3rd year. Mm-hmm. But I think if he stays where he was at in year 2, or if he regresses anymore, especially if they upgrade at offensive coordinator and his weapons, then I think it's a fair conversation to say, maybe Mac's not the guy and maybe you need to move on. But you got to give him 1 more year. Give him that 3rd year to prove that he belongs in this league as a qualified starting quarterback.
Yeah. We act like in the latter stretch of the season, Mac Jones didn't throw 11 touchdowns to 2 picks.
4 picks, technically.
Oh, yeah. Wait, I forgot he threw 3 in this game.
I know.
I was only counting the 1. Yeah. So, but even still, that's a damn good stretch. Once he finally got back under center and they trusted him and no more of that Bailey Zappi nonsense, it's a good run. That's a good run.
I'll agree with you, Al. If Mac Jones ends up regressing or stays where he is, and assuming the Patriots, like you said, get a real offensive guy around him and all that stuff, then, I mean, I don't even think it'd be more than fair. I think it's a necessity that you have to have the conversation where it's like, okay, what is going on? Because he was also out for basically 4 games this year, almost 4 games this year. So it's like, okay, this year everybody kind of understands what he was going through, what the offense was going through. I mean, the way the team talks about him, they get it. I mean, Jacoby Myers is saying that one of the best moments he saw with Mac was him out there balling, trying to, win games when his whole fan base gave up on him and they were chanting Bailey fucking Zappi's name. So like, obviously the team is still around him. So I think I'm with you. You give him a year, which I still very much believe that he will knock it out of the park. If you give him, if the offense is a little bit more, a little bit more offensive there. But I will say though, for all the shit we talk about Matt Patricia, this game plan was awesome. You had a designed run snuck in there for Mac Jones. You had a shovel pass, that little shovel pass near the goal line. Like, I mean, it wasn't perfect. You can still poke holes in it and everything. But I mean, if this was Matt Patricia's swan song, I'll rate it like a B-. I thought it was good. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was really good. I mean, I think I texted you guys at halftime, and I was like, I don't think we've seen any screens. Which, I mean, we all like screens, but just not multiple on every down. You know, I mean, on every drive. So, right. I don't know. I thought that Matt Patricia, at least, not that he needs to, but I think he earned himself a spot still on this team. I do still hope that he's not the offensive coordinator, though, coming into 2023. Can't have it. There's so many names out there now. You still got Bill O'Brien. You got Cliff Kingsbury now, who's out there. I mean, and it just seems like teams that would be funny because it's one that Bill drafted, and it's a whole it's a whole thing. But yeah, kind of the offense as a whole. I was very pleasant. Like, I mean, I think we all thought the Patriots were going to win this game up until, I mean, I don't even know
the fourth quarter, basically.
Yeah. I think it
was the third, maybe.
Yeah. Because it was when the Bills went up by 11. That's when I was like, shit. Like, I don't know about this one.
Yeah, you texted me. You're like 11 points feels like 21 points. I'm like,
I remember that text.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah. Which it did. But I mean, I feel like we've kind of waited too long to talk about it. Probably, I can't think of a worse way to start a football game. But I am even surprised that the Patriots got up off the mat after the Bills tried to land a haymaker to start. That was the Bills coming out doing their best to just Mortal Kombat finish him to start the game.
Yeah.
And to the Patriots' credit, the coaches, the team, the player, everybody, they, like I said, they picked themselves up off the mat. They went 3 and out on the next drive, but then the defense, everything came together. So, I mean, they still did. And then they said, fuck it. You know what? We gave up 1 kickoff return for a touchdown. Let's fuck around and do 2. But I don't think I've ever, and Al, I know you feel this way. I think this is the worst special teams performance in a year that I've seen out of a Bill Belichick team in the 20 plus years that he's been here. This was ridiculous.
Mike, why would you assume that I would think that?
Because I know you have a vendetta, rightfully so, against Cam Accord. So
Cam Accord, yeah.
I don't give a shit. I don't even need to know his name because he's not going to be here next year.
So just real quick on my other podcast, Legends Lingo, we had Kyrie Thompson from WEI on with us, and he told me his actual last name is Accord. I was like, I never knew that, and I didn't really care to know it.
Yeah,
but
No, we won't need to know. We won't need to
know. But think about this, right? Just really quick. Think about how this game played out. You had the 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns. You had the bomb down to John Brown, and then the other bomb to Diggs.
Forgot about the John Brown one.
Now, love John Brown.
Think about this. Take away those 2 explosive plays on offense. We'll forget about the kickoff return for a second. The kickoff returns for touchdown. You take away those 2 big plays. This defense actually did a really good job making Josh Allen beat them. Now, I know that sounds like a little moral victory, but the thing is, it wasn't like the last game when they were in New England where it looked like he could just run around at will, create plays with his legs. Like, no, they put some pressure on him. They got to him a couple times with Dietrich Wise and Danny Ukulele. I don't even know how to say his last name.
Ukulele.
Yeah, whatever. Ukulele.
Sounds better.
I still think ukulele is better. But, Judon and Uche getting rushes in on him and stuff too. But the point is that they had a much better game plan this time. Mm-hmm. And to go off your point, Mike, about Matt Patricia and why the offense looked better, it's because they opened it up. They finally in week 18 were like, you know what? We have to open it up. It's the last game of the season. We have no choice. If it wasn't that severe of a game, we probably would have seen the conservative approach like we saw all season long. Don't turn the ball over. Don't make mistakes. But when you play not to lose, you lose. When you play to win, you win. It's a crazy thing. But that's how it works.
It's just so frustrating.
Well, I mean, they played to win and they lost, but I know what you mean.
It's the one game where the offense came out, put together probably its best game. The defense came out, put together one of its best games. Special teams was like, no. Hold on a second. We can't have things going too well. And it's like, I think that was, again, so many things are like microcosms of the team. And that's it. It's like when things are going well, there's always one part of the Patriots that beats the Patriots, no matter what it is. It's just.
I got a stat for you boys.
What is the stat?
Oh, boy. When Liam gives stats, that means we're in trouble.
In the entire Patriots tenure where we had Tom Brady, so 20 years, Care to shoot out a number of how many special teams touchdowns the Patriots gave up?
6.
6.
8.
3. And they gave up 2 the other game. 3 in Tom Brady's entire tenure.
Oh, I think why I said 6. I think because I heard a stat that said just total special teams touchdowns. So kickoff.
Yeah, I'm talking punt or kick returns. Like obviously there are blocked punts that go for touchdowns, and that you can't really account for that. But I'm talking return touchdowns. I should have been more specific.
No,
but fair. 3, and we gave up 2 last game, and that just speaks to how lucky Tom Brady is. That sandbagging son of a bitch. But I don't want to be too vindictive here. Stuff like that. I'm just like, really, special teams is such an important part of the game. I think Al was on the show a little while ago when I talked about it's the greatest anomaly in football. The 2011 Chargers, number 1 offense, number 1 defense, missed the playoffs because their special teams gave up 11 touchdowns or something ridiculous like that. It was really fucking bad.
Yeah.
And for a team like that to miss the playoffs makes no sense to me, but it just shows how important special teams is. And the most annoying part is you take 14 points off the board in this game. It is a completely different game. So frustrating. And I really like your point, Mike, about how when they opened up, they didn't roll over and die, because I rolled over and died. Kick return, I was like, this is really bad. I was like, this is going to be exactly like the national championship we saw yesterday. I'm like, this is going to be a bloodbath. They're going to win by 50. And then we go 3 and out. And I'm like, I'm turning this fucking game off. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, shit started happening. I'm like, okay, maybe I'll stick around.
Yeah. No, I felt the same exact way. It was just like, not even, Liam, you don't even have to take the 2 touchdowns. You could just you could give them 13 points instead of the 14. And I think that still is better, because you're not getting a swift kick to the nuts that is like a kickoff return, because it's it's just oh God, this team.
And then not only
so
that,
frustrating.
Right, but then not only that, after you give up the 2 kick returns, then you're telling Nick Folk to squib kick it, kicks it out of bounds.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't win. I'm like,
everything that could go wrong went wrong on the special teams portion of things.
Yeah,
that is literally like the football gods looking down, because at that point you are literally just talking about the bounce of the ball, and the ball just found its way to, because the kick itself
to give you a penalty.
The actual kick was it just looked like a normal kick, normal squib kick, but the fucking thing just kept bouncing and bouncing and bouncing and bounding and bounding and bounding. Then it was out of bounds, and it was like, you should have known. You should have known that it was going to go. That it was going to go out.
When it rains, it pours.
It's just. But since I'm getting all worked up, did anybody else think? And I know the answer from you guys, that the refs just were not going to call anything on the Bills all game.
Yeah,
we all felt that way, right? Because
I kept saying that 500 times in the group chat.
The offsides call, obvious. One of the biggest ones, though. I think it was the third down play to Damian Harris in the end zone.
Yeah, pass interference.
That was.
I mean, what?
Aren't you supposed to turn around, try and get your head around to look at the ball?
Not even that. Did you hear?
Rule?
Did you hear Tony Romo try to explain it away? He's like, it could be. I don't know. Shut up, Tony Romo. Yeah. I wanted to strangle him this game. It was just there was nothing. Nothing. It was like the entire, and I'm sure you guys felt the same way. The entire country were rooting for the Patriots to lose that game.
Oh yeah. I mean, did you hear the announcer? Normally I have it mute, but on the first kick return when he's like, a storybook start for the Buffalo Bills. I'm like, go
Team of Destiny.
Yourself.
Yeah, no, team. And listen, I watching. If I were a Bills fan, I'd be saying that same annoying shit. But since I'm on the other side, it's like, oh my God, team of destiny. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, the Patriots are going to become even bigger villains than they already are if they win this game. Yep. It's just, there is no way. And they still almost did it. Everything was good. Ramondre, everybody played well, except for Miles Bryant, who... Miles Bryant.
I'm with you, Al. I'll agree with you on that one.
Like I said, the Miles Bryant story is crazy, because last year, Liam, we were very high on it. Remember that
huge
game?
Miles Bryant
huge game. Broke. It was just, it was against the Bills where he broke up that pass, right? Awesome. Won the game. Great. In this year, and I know whenever you have reporters or the stats people who are like, I know it seems like Miles Bryant is having a bad year. However, odds are he's probably having a bad year. And like, I get that maybe the stats didn't show it early on in the year, which they didn't, because I looked at those stats that people posted. But this game, the second kickoff, I believe, for a touchdown, just flat out missed a tackle. Just decided to, I don't even like it's like he's never been on the football field before to tackle someone. And then it's just missed tackles, leaving people wide open, trying to break up balls, but can't break them up. It's just nothing. I would rather try out like the ghost of Ellis Hobbs. That I don't think Ellis Hobbs is dead, but just like the football ghost of Ellis Hobbs, as opposed to having Miles Bryant.
Hopefully his ghost plays better than he did, but
I can't. I would rather have Ellis Hobbs at his worst than
I would rather have Rob Gronkowski trying to make the Miami Miracle tackle than Miles Bryant.
God, that was horrible. That I think, and for my notes, I didn't even write anything. I just wrote Miles Bryant. Period. Just we all know what it is. We all know
what else can you say?
There was nothing else. I was like, there's too much. There's nothing, and then somehow too much to say all at the same time. Like this is the game where I know that we like to joke about it. Jalen Mills, like, you know, he's good, but he does get whatever. This is a game where if Jalen Mills was in, you gotta think that he does something better than Miles Bryant, and maybe it changes.
He's just marginally better than Miles Bryant.
And I see. You know what? If you're gonna, if I had a list of people, Jalen Mills would be on my list of people that I love. I love Jalen Mills, but
somebody has to.
Speaking of Jalen Mills, did you guys see what he posted to Instagram?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, did you? Hold on, let me pull it up as we speak. I knew that that Liam wouldn't see it because Liam isn't on Twitter. But
I certainly don't follow Jalen Mills.
He posted something to Instagram and it said, "One thing about me, ... I'm not finna be nowhere I'm not wanted and somewhere I'm not invited." Listen, sir, you stupid son of a bitch. If this is about the Patriots, which we are in cryptic postseason, we are in full swing now. This is when players are going to start posting things, liking things, and it's going to be all over the place. Who are you to say that? You're acting like you're prime Darrelle Revis out there. Like, yo, I'm not going to say where I'm not wanted. Listen, the Patriots gave you a chance. No one has really ever said anything. Like, Jalen Mills has never been like the topic of all this vitriol that like Mac Jones gets, or Trent Brown or Isaiah Wynn or all these people. Jalen Mills is always, especially since he's been hurt, it's been like, we need Jalen Mills to play because he's like just a solid plug starter, someone that can do that. So for him to say that, if he does leave though, I'm pretty sure the Patriots they get some sort of, they can get out from under his contract, I believe. I'm going to look it up right now while we do this shit. But Jalen Mills, who do you think you are posting that? Like I said, if it's not about the Patriots, then move on. Maybe it's not.
Yep.
But it seems to
I can't help but think it's about the Patriots, and it must be like some personal slight against the medical staff or maybe Bill Belichick. But I just don't know what it could be. I mean, he was hurt, unless he really wanted to play, even while hurt in the last game, and they didn't let him, and maybe he feels like he could have made a difference. He probably thinks he's the best player in the world. He probably believes he would have, changed the game in some dynamic way. It's a liability against the team if they didn't want to play him when he's injured. I don't know. I don't know where his head's at. You like to think that he'd be thinking logically about this, and maybe he was slighted in some way. But these athletes have, not all of them, but plenty have big egos. It could have been something small, and he just took it as a slight. And, most of these players have been told they're the best player coming out of their hometown. They were the best player in college, and they got drafted. It's tough to say exactly what he's thinking, but I can't help but think it's for a selfish reason, because there's no clear slight against him. Like Malcolm Butler getting benched in the Super Bowl, there's a clear slight against you there. You did something wrong. Like, that's like something dynamic. Like if he gave up like a game losing play and then was like benched for the next 3 weeks, like then I'd understand it. But like there was no telltale sign.
Speaking of which, remember when Malcolm Butler re-signed with the Patriots, and then they cut him like 2 weeks later?
Well, he tore his ACL.
He got hurt, and then I think it was one of those things where like they didn't.
He was out for the season, whatever his injury was.
They just kind of cut bait with him because he got hurt, and
Right.
like they cut bait, but then let him go. Like I guess there was something with his contract where they like whatever it was where he could go somewhere else. So.
There was like a settlement or something. I think they settled because of
injury settlement. That's what it was. Jalen Mills, by the way, the Patriots can get out from under him either before or after June 1st. The difference is like $700,000. So at least if they trade him before June 1st, they'll get about 53 or what am I saying? $5.3 million in cap space. And then if they do afterwards, it'll be $6 million. So there will be like just over $1 million of dead money, but I mean, it is what it is. So Patriots can move on from him if they want to, is basically what I'm saying. So,
and from what I'm gathering from all of us, it seems like at least we're ready for the Patriots to do some sort of like pretty decent house cleaning, like get rid of some wide receivers, get rid of some corners, like go out and do some serious shopping in this offseason.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for like, I'll throw some names at you because this is kind of what I wanted to do, and then we'll kind of talk about them. So, Jalen Mills is one of them. Jalen Mills, you want to try to keep him or trade him, if you could?
Nah, famo, cut him.
Get out.
Yeah, probably get rid of him.
Short later.
Yeah, get rid of him.
See ya.
This one hurts me. Damian Harris. Do you try to get rid of him? What do you do? Because this is the last year of his deal.
You try to keep him, but the Patriots are probably going to get rid of him because they're not going to pay him because they think with Stevenson, Pierre Strong, Kevin Harris, they have enough in the backfield.
Yep. Yeah, Al, I know. I mean, Liam, I know you feel the same way. You're ready to Stevenson show.
I've changed. After the last game, remember I said in the group chat that I have a take that has completely gone against everything I've said in the last 2 weeks. The Patriots seem to need two spectacular running backs. Like, it truly looked like a different offense with Damian Harris out there. Fuck, they were throwing him passes. We never throw Damian Harris passes. And there's a reason for it because one of them turned into an interception.
Yeah.
But the fact that you can have two dynamic guys in a very run-heavy scheme, which the Patriots, even though they changed the scheme this year, they still ran the ball a vast majority of the time, just like they did last year and the 20 years before then. I have changed my stance a little bit. And I think if you can keep him, you really should. As long as like you don't have to pay him some absurd Ezekiel Elliott type bag, or you don't have to give him like top 10 running back money, like why not keep him? I don't think there's a horrible amount of tread on the tires. It's definitely alarming that he missed a lot of this season. So it's a risk.
Yeah.
But he can ball, and it completely changes the offense when he was out there.
Damn. Okay. I was not
crazy.
I was not expecting that because I know it wasn't like a negative thing, but it was just one of those things where it's like, you know what, build, no second contracts to running backs. Yeah. You got Stevenson.
We've seen this before.
Damn. Okay.
I know. And I would like it. I think he will be gone, but I hope they keep him.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think he'll be gone too. Al, I know how you feel about this one because you don't like him, but Jacoby Myers, you think he's coming back, or do you think?
I desperately want him back
because
I think that he is a big part of this offense.
Yeah.
And he's one of Mac's most reliable receivers.
Huge. Yeah. And he's good too. Like,
it's not a very reliable pass thrower, as we saw in the Raiders game.
But I think he's going to leave because the wide receiver market is going to be so slim this offseason that he's actually going to be a prize in the offseason.
I think some teams
going to overpay for him.
Yeah. He did say, though, that re-signing in New England is his dream.
That's what I saw.
Yeah, but still, will Bill just be like, yeah, it's your dream, but we're not paying you. Either you take what I want or you're gone. Man.
And maybe he'll take what they want.
Yeah. I think it might come down to that where Belichick's like, listen, we want you here. Obviously, like, we know you're a vital part of the team the last couple of years, but with the things we want to do this offseason, this is what we have set aside for you. Take it, leave it. If not, go out, come back with another deal. He might go out, come back with something, but then just be like, but you know what? If that's still here, I'll take it. That's kind of what I would like.
Think about it. The Patriots is every slot wide receiver's dream team. Like that's where you're going to get the most targets, the most attention. Like if you just want to play football and don't really care about like the asking price and making a bag to go play for the Panthers or some shitty team, like you can make a full out, long, dedicated, and appreciated career with the Patriots as a slot receiver.
Yeah, I mean, but the only thing though, Al, like you said, the wide receiver market is so shitty this year, where I just hope that his want to stay here outweighs his want for money. So I don't know. We'll see though. We'll talk more about all that when once the offseason starts. Jonathan Jones.
Keep him. Re-sign him as your corner slot, your slot corner, and then go sign a number one true legit corner in the offseason, or go trade for one.
What do you think, Liam?
I don't know. You go. I kind of have to think about this one.
So, in my can they can franchise tag him, right?
Yeah,
they wanted to. So I guess that's one thing they could do. But I mean, I know that you have Marcus Jones, you have Panda Jack, who got suspended for and we'll as you know, since we'll jump back to John Jones in a second. Jack Jones suspended for being late to rehab assignments. I'm all for that suspension.
All for it.
He's
a rookie.
Do what
you have to do.
Yeah, he's a rookie. I mean, it's not like it doesn't seem like they want to move on from him. They clearly like him. They gave him a lot of playing time, but you're also a rookie. Like, you got to be humbled a little bit. So I like it. But I mean, Jack Jones still around, Marcus Jones. Who knows what happens with Jalen Mills? But John Jones, I want to say that I want him back. I think I don't want him back as much as, like, obviously we wanted Gilmore back or something like that.
Of course.
But I mean, he's probably like the level under that, where it's like, I think he's good. I've seen him get burned way too much by Stephon Diggs. I've seen him get, burned here and there, which happens to every corner. But I mean, the corner market is so crazy, where teams just throw money at corners now. So I don't even know if, the Patriots will even be in the ballpark with him, but I would like to see him back. I also wouldn't hate if he got tagged, if they put the franchise tag on him. Wouldn't necessarily hate that, because at the very least, it gives you a guy for this year. You can kind of kick the can down the road to next offseason. Maybe you draft a corner, so that issue doesn't even come up. But I would say that if you can tag him, great. But I would like to work out like maybe a 4-year deal or something with him, and just kind of go from there. Kind of build your secondary around him, or have him be like a pillar of it. That's how I feel, though. Liam, how do you feel about the third Jones? I guess really the first Jones, because he was the first Jones in the defensive in the backfield. So
in the pecking order, yeah. How old is he?
I think he's 29.
29. Then
fuck. Hold on. I'll look it up. Keep
yeah, because like I'm looking at his stats right now, and I had to go look at his stats just because his play like didn't immediately jump out to me. He had 4 picks, and I can remember a couple of them and whatnot. But in my memory, like the thing that I really remember about him is, like Mike said, getting toasted by Stephon Gilmore, getting toasted by Justin Jefferson. Like he's just 29. Underwhelming. Like he's fine. 29. Yeah. So the shelf life in my eyes for corners is 30. It's 30. Clear cut. If we drop Stephon Gilmore, then Jonathan Jones gets dropped. And I have little to no sympathy, because that's just how it works. I'm sure he'll get a job elsewhere. But he wasn't spectacular enough to even consider keeping around. Like, yes, defensive touchdown, that's cool. And 4 picks it's good. It's middle of the road. Like that's a productive season. But he just doesn't seem like a dynamic player to me.
I changed my tune. I didn't know he was 29. I think
if anything, and that's huge.
If anything, you give him a 2-year deal. I don't even know if you want to tag him at this point. At 29, like we looked in one of the early episodes of Tuck Rule Takes. We looked at corners in their ages. Once they hit 30, only your elite ones. You're a Darrelle Revis. I mean,
and Revis only had 1 good year after.
And Revis only had 1. Yeah, so it's like 20. It is one of those weird things. I mean, you see it with Richard Sherman. I mean, he hit whatever. I mean, he has some injuries too. You see it with
he fell off
Ramsey.
bad though.
Jalen Ramsey is starting to hit a certain age, and he's sucked this year. So it's like,
how did Stephon Gilmore do this year? I didn't hear anything about him, which usually means he did pretty bad.
I think he was just like there was nothing crazy, but I think he did well enough to where no one complained about him, if I remember correctly. But no, 29, John Jones. Nah, unless you want to take like a hometown discount for 2 years or something like that. No, I have changed my tune in real time on him. I'm ready to move on, draft a corner, be good. I mean, there's people. In fact, I have for our draft episode, which we'll eventually get to. I actually have a corner that the Pats can take. Who and I guess he's been projected to go to the Patriots at the 14th pick. So, I mean, I think John Jones. Bye.
I think I know
we already get to.
Okay. I have an idea who it might be too, but
Cam Smith. Cam Smith is the guy I was thinking of.
That's what I was thinking too.
I know nothing about that. I need to, like, this year for like the draft episode, I'm gonna be so fucking prepared. You guys have no idea what's gonna happen. I'm gonna come in here with stat. I'm gonna have like
3 monitors up.
I'm gonna. I know in the other room in the setup I have 3 monitors. The wife has 3 monitors for her work, so I'm gonna have things filled up. Highlight reels, all this stuff. You guys have no idea. But
just gonna be in there smoking cigarettes with the lights off, just clicking away at that keyboard.
There's got to be someone out there. But I think you move on from John Jones. Kind of taking the age and everything into
every time you say John Jones, I think about the fighter. I'm not thinking.
So do I.
Like this. If we had John Jones, that guy's a killer.
But speaking of the suspensions, though, what do you guys think about that? Because I know we kind of already did the Jack Jones thing, but not Dan Bailey, Jake Bailey. Do you think that this is the end of Jake Bailey in New England?
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah,
it's a shame because he's a beast.
He was. Second part, do you care?
A little bit, just because Belichick has a thing for special teams guys, right? Like that's his big thing. He loves his defense and his special teams.
Mm-hmm.
So now, now you have a guy that you paid him as the second highest paid punter in the NFL, and then a year later you're suspending him, and then you're potentially going to get rid of him.
What's
not a great look.
Like?
I think it was like, and I'm paraphrasing here, but it's like 4 for a combined like maybe 8 million or something, like a little less than 2 every year or something like that.
And what did he do? Because it got lost in translation for me.
I think it was similar to Jack Jones in the sense it was like the rehab stuff, not missing it, but just having like a difference of when.
Yeah, there was like a
go and like when he should come back.
Yeah. I guess that. Well, in Belichick, I guess said that. Well, I mean, what's Belichick going to say? So I don't put any stock in what he said.
Yeah.
But I guess there was just a misunderstanding or a difference of opinion in if he was ready to come back or not. So, but given by what I thought, because Belichick in his thing, he said that he was designated to come back, and then he just wasn't available. So I'm thinking that the Patriots probably thought he was ready to come back. Bailey didn't think he was, or something like that, and now he's out. I don't know what it was. But yeah, he's got his cap hit is it's under $4 million for the next 3 years. So I mean, they can. I don't know. They can do what they want with him. I think that, I mean, Belichick will draft a kicker in the 5th or 6th round and just kind of go from there.
And that's the thing with punters. Do you guys remember Marquette King?
Yeah, of course I do.
The Raiders.
It's just dripping swag up. Yeah. But there's a reason he's not in the league anymore. He's still young. He's like 32, and he should still be punting. Yeah, and the reason for that is he was just too much. He wanted to be a superstar as a punter. He'd do the celebrations, and he wanted to run instead of punt it, and he wanted to do all this crazy stuff. Ref threw a flag. He threw the flag back at the ref, and stuff like that. When you're a punter, no one's supposed to know about you. No. If you're causing a disruption as a punter, or if you want to be the star as a punter, teams are just going to cut bait with you because you're not worth the trouble, and they can just replace you. Like Mike said, they're going to draft somebody in the 7th round and he'll just take your spot, and that guy will bitch less. So sorry, even if he's not as good, if he's, less of a liability and less annoying, we're going to put up with him. And Marquette King was head and shoulders better than Jake Bailey was, in my opinion, although Jake Bailey was great.
He's very good for, that's why he got the contract.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just how the league is. And Bill Belichick knows it more than anyone else. Players that are expendable at which positions and whatnot. Punter is an extremely expendable position.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're Pat McAfee, he was the one who walked the line of.
Yeah, he did.
Being basically Rob Gronkowski as a punter, but yet didn't go over that line. So yeah.
But he was also equally productive. Like he'd catch onside kicks, like he punted to himself and whatnot. He made hard tackles. Marquette King just wanted to make a fool of himself and celebrate after good punts.
He wanted to be the guy. But so I don't know. I mean, there's so much that the Patriots have to do. I mean, and the next few episodes, we can spend time just keep going on what we think they should do, different position groups, all that stuff. We'll kind of lay it out, what we're going to do each week talking about it. But it's just there's a lot of things that they can do. But coming out of this, did you guys want to talk any more about the Bills game? The game just pissed me off. Like it was just sad to me. It was a sad way to end.
Season's over. Let's move on.
Go away. The season is over. Don't even need to
get a new dog.
Explain it that, but exactly. We took this dog out behind the shed. It had to happen, but now we're gonna get another one.
Gave it the old Nazi treatment.
Season grades going in. I'll go first. Make mine short and sweet. This to me, C-. This season to me, I was gonna go with a C+, whatever. No, this was a C- because it was below average. I understand all the things that happened. Some self-inflicted things, some non-self-inflicted things. This was a C-. The only thing keeping it above a D was just kind of the fight that they showed, kind of in spite of the play calling, or in spite of whatever else was going against them, just the team as a whole. So I'm going to go C-. It just, I'm not going to remember this team. I'll tell you that much, probably in the next 5 years, and just move on. So that's where I'm at. C-, not happy, but ready to move forward. Which one of you guys want to go?
Al.
So I was going to say C- as well, but just for the sake of being a little different, I'll go one grade below. I'll go a D+, because I think this was a year because expectations were high. You had made the playoffs the year before. You were hoping the offense was going to make a jump. The defense played really well for the most part this year, so I'll give them credit for that. Yep. But again, the inconsistency of the offense, the inconsistency of the special teams, just bad plays, bad coaching at times. It just overall bad. Except for the defense, it was overall bad. So I'll give him a D+.
I like it.
Damn. You took my rating. I was going to give him a D, but it's still on the same premise. Like Mike explained earlier, even in the last game when our offense and defense were clicking, the special teams fell apart. And that was the story of the whole season. If the defense was killing it, which, let's say 14 of the 18 games they were, then the offense was terrible. Or when both are clicking, the special teams is terrible. I agree with you, Mike. This is going to be a season that the vast majority of this season, if not the entire thing, we'll forget about 5-10 years down the line. Yeah. We won't remember a whole lot about this besides maybe the Bailey Zappi fiasco is the only thing that might stand the test of time. We'll look back and laugh at how ridiculous that was. But yeah, just a flat out D. It's just disappointing across the board. So much left on the table, and especially with the refereeing that screwed us in multiple games, us not getting it done in multiple games, being so close in multiple games and then falling apart. This was a season of almost or could have beens and not what it was. Just like in the last game, if they didn't return 2 kicks, we could have won. No, that's not how it works. Unfortunately, football is a pretty bleed dry business. So I got to give it a D. Just disappointing across the board.
Yeah, D for disappointing. That's what
D
it
for
comes
disappointing.
Down to. It's just like you said, we'll remember the Zappy stuff. Maybe I don't even know. Like, I mean, I don't know. Judon kind of lighting it on fire, then kind of not follow, like, not getting to where we thought he would be. I don't know, but it just I put this kind of with like the 2020 season, where it's like there's only certain things I remember from that, but overall, other than like Cam Newton was the quarterback or things like I'm not gonna remember this year. Hopefully I don't, because I'm hoping in the next coming years that the team's going to be so good that we'll forget about this. But I just think right now we're at the beginning stages of building the next dynasty. Things are going to suck. And that's kind of where we are. It's not good. It's definitely, I mean, like Robert Kraft said, it's well under, what all of us expected. I mean, Belichick even said it. It's not what the team expected and their expectations, whatever they hold themselves to, the standards. But this season just, I hate that we don't have Patriots to watch anymore, but I'm excited about what could come next. And one of
now faith is restored a little bit.
Because now it's like, okay, cool. So we got that out. It's almost like when, like, as a kid, I don't know about you guys, but as a kid, I would lie to my parents a lot. And when you're holding all these lies, they knew. When you're holding all the lies, it's like sometimes it gets so stressful to where you're like, I just want them to catch me, or you know what I mean? And then it's like when you get caught, it sucks, but there's almost something liberating about it where it's like, now I don't have to, like, I don't have to,
now I can start fresh and lie again.
I can create new lies. So now I think that's where we are now. I think we all enjoyed watching the Patriots. It was a drag sometimes, just with so many things that were going on. And it's just, now we have hope, a new hope is what we have right now.
Right.
And
great reference.
a little, thank you. And a little tease, something that came out today, a little before we started recording. DeAndre Hopkins likely to be trade, or at least the Cardinals are going to try to trade him. Because I think right now they only have, like, for next year, they have like 31 or 32 players under contract. So they got to do a lot of stuff to get people. They got to re-sign people. They get, like, there's a bunch of things they got to do. I guess looking at DeAndre Hopkins' cap hits and everything, he's only going to be owed like $14.9 million this year, and then $12.5, I think, next season. I thought that it was still the $30 million that he was going to be owed, but I guess since he's going to get traded, that's not a thing. That makes me think even more. You got to trade for him. You have to trade for him. I mean, he has a no trade clause too, so he's really going to go to where he wants. So it's not like the Cardinals can, ship him out to Carolina. That seems to be the team that everybody says, like Carolina or Cleveland or something like that. Given how much him and Belichick like each other, adding DeAndre Hopkins, the world better hope that the Patriots don't do that, because I, as many fans, will turn into prime Brady years Patriots fans, where I think that we will just be insufferable. Where it'll be, you're going to give Mac Jones, DeAndre Hopkins, Jacoby Myers, sorry, Al, Kendrick Bourne, probably, Tyquan Thornton. I'm just kidding. But like, you know what I mean? DeAndre Hopkins, I don't care what the Patriots do the rest of the offseason. Offseason was an A. Does not matter. Well, okay, maybe, shore up the offensive line. But DeAndre Hopkins, Liam, you said it before when we were talking, remember? Because then you were like, oh, well, why don't we just get Justin Jefferson? Why don't we get whatever? I made fun of you. It seems like it could be, like, it could be a possibility. I know you guys were excited about it too.
Al, you're a realist. What do you think?
I want DeAndre Hopkins here.
Yep,
I think everything Mike said is very valid. The fact that you don't have to pay him a huge contract coming into the next couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that the Cardinals are rebuilding, they've lost their head coach, their GM, and they're probably going to end up losing their quarterback soon because he's not going to want to stay there for a rebuild. And it's a perfect time because the Cardinals aren't going to want to trade within the division. They're not going to want to trade within the conference. They'll want to trade with an AFC team. So guess what? The Patriots need a number one receiver. So guess what? Go out and make that move.
Yeah, baby.
Go out and make it. And I want to relate this to a question I have for the both of you. And I know Liam's not going to like either option, but I'm still going to ask it anyway.
Oh gosh.
2023. Who's your OC? Bill O'Brien or Cliff Kingsbury? If you had to choose one of them, and you can't choose none or other, or Liam, in your case, death. Like you can't choose any of that. You got to choose one. I
was really leaning on death.
Yeah, I know. That's why I got in front on that one.
You did. I mean, I got to go Bill O'Brien. That little hole in his chin, the Peter Griffin hole, it inspires confidence in me.
So
Mike?
You know what? I was thinking Bill O'Brien, but honestly, I'd be happy with either of them. But you know what? If you're going to get DeAndre, do we know how DeAndre Hopkins felt about Cliff Kingsbury? Did he like him? Do we know that at all?
I don't think there was any. I think he was indifferent. I don't know if he was one way or the other. I don't think it would be like if O'Brien was in here, because I know him and Hopkins had a little bit of beef.
Okay, so
when they were in Houston.
That's yeah. I mean, everybody hated him. It seemed like at Houston. So I think, you know what? I'm gonna kind of, just to be different. Also, I got reasoning behind it. Give me Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury has coached DeAndre Hopkins, so you like to think that he knows how to use him a little bit. Not that Bill O'Brien wouldn't, because Bill O'Brien did coach him as well, but just Cliff Kingsbury has coached him more recently, so I don't think that it would be just like picking right up. There wouldn't be any sort of learning curve at all. And I want to see something different. We've seen Bill O'Brien. I know Bill O'Brien can use tight ends, so that'd be cool. But no, you know what? Give me Cliff Kingsbury. That story would be crazy. You get Cliff Kingsbury, who was drafted by Bill Belichick, coming over. Then you have DeAndre Hopkins coming over. Maybe, who knows? Maybe that's I don't know. Maybe that's something that Belichick can say, where it's like, listen, we got, your old coach as the offensive coordinator, you're going to be a focal point of the offense, not just because you're DeAndre Hopkins, but because he knows what he has here. He's going to tell us what you do great. We're going to try to incorporate that into the offense.
It's definitely a connection.
And another thing that helps with that, maybe if he's here, he has a good year the first year. Maybe that makes Hopkins want to sign an extension. Like, I don't know, which I'm sure he's going to want to sign an extension. Probably his last like big-ish contract. So give me Cliff Kingsbury. Fuck it. Why not? Right?
Do either one of you know what kind of scheme Cliff Kingsbury runs?
He would want something like, basically not the scheme necessarily, but he would want an air attack all day. Just throw it around a bunch. I mean, think of a couple of the college quarterbacks he had when he was in college. Texas A&M.
Oh boy.
He had Johnny Mahomes. He had Johnny Manziel in his Heisman years. In his Heisman year in 2012. He had Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech.
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield was at Texas Tech before he went to Oklahoma. That's right. I forgot about that. All right. So he's worked with quarterbacks before. He's worked with offenses before. He's been successful with offenses. So if you told me Bill O'Brien, which, by the way, there was a report from Tommy Curran that the Patriots and O'Brien have yet to have communication, which scares me, but whatever.
I saw that.
If you were like, who
knows? Yeah.
I don't know how truthful that is either, though.
True. But if you told me, all right, Bill O'Brien's out and you can bring in Cliff Kingsbury, don't forget too, a big thing, Arizona has to pay him through 2027. So you can get him for cheap. So if you can get him for cheap,
that's so bad.
I'm just saying. Hey, that's the Cardinals' problem, not the Patriots' problem.
I know, 100%. Yeah.
Listen, we'll give you whatever, and you get the rest of the money from the Cardinals. And guess what? You get the chance to rebuild yourself, and in a couple of years, another head coaching job comes up. You can take it.
I want it. So I want it. Give me Kingsbury.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like, I like the idea. He runs an air raid system, so it's a lot of 4 wide receiver sets with out of the shotgun, a lot of up the middle runs to open up the middle of the field for passing and play action to get the ball deep, which is what my homeboy thrives.
I'm just going to say my last thought of the night with this, with coaching in general, and then I'm pretty much done with anything Patriots related, because I know we have a lot that we're going to cover this off season. If you give me this coaching staff next year, head coach Bill O'Brien, Bill Belichick. Misspoke, Mike.
Okay.
Misspoke.
Oh my God.
So you hate Bill Belichick now too.
And Matt Jones. My God, he hates the whole team.
Head coach Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Offensive coordinator O'Brien or Kingsbury. Give me either one. Defensive coordinator, Gerard Mayo. Promote him. Say, Stevie, he's going to, Gerard's taking it. If you don't like it, go get a job elsewhere. Give me Joe Judge on special teams. Fire Cam According to the Sun. Put Matty P in a front office role. Go get DeAndre Hopkins. Draft an offensive tackle. Or add Mike McGlinchey from free agency, and let's ride into 2023.
That's
a random one.
That was coaching and players. I got carried away.
That was very detailed.
That was like a 7-pronged system. I think I agree. Except if I were to go, you get Bill Belichick. Sorry, Al, I guess, as the head coach. I didn't know that he was someone.
Damn it, I want Bill out of here. No.
But no, you have Bill Belichick. Now you got me sold on Cliff Kingsbury because I'm thinking of all this. So you know what? Give me Belichick, Kingsbury, Steve Belichick as the defensive coordinator because I think that Gerard Mayo is going to get a coaching job somewhere.
Okay,
I don't even think he's going to be there.
I was going to say, you don't want to keep Gerard Mayo a Patriots defensive legend, Mike? Screw you.
I do, but I think that he is just going to be gone. And I think, Matt Patricia, you have him be what he was last year, where he was like the advisor. Just have him float around there.
He could be a defensive assistant. Doesn't matter.
Whatever. And then have Joe Judge be your special teams guy. Get DeAndre Hopkins right off into the sunset. And I guess this draft is very heavy on offensive linemen. So like it's a good year to need offensive linemen. So I'm in with that. Draft one, sign another one. I'm in with that.
My point with the Cliff Kingsbury scheme earlier is picture a similar Patriots lineup that we saw this year, but with that scheme. So very spread out, 4 wides, not a whole lot of use of the tight ends, focused on running back up the middle runs and whatnot. And plug and play the players that we have come to know and love and somewhat loathe in Al's case. How would they fit in that scheme? And you can even, like, if you want to be hopeful, throw DeAndre Hopkins in there as well. I wouldn't. I would just play it as what we got. And then if we get DeAndre Hopkins, that's obviously a clear upgrade. But when you look at the players that we got, put it into that scheme, how do you think that works? Because that's what worries me. It would be a system that the Patriots haven't ever in the history of their organization come close to running. They have never run the spread.
It wouldn't work, which is why I think that's why, like Al said, there's so much to talk about this offseason because there's so many dominoes and so many pieces on the board right now that aren't going to be here, that are going to be here. Like, listen, do you still have both tight ends? Does one of the tight ends go? Do you get rid of Hunter Henry, keep Jonnu Smith and have him in that pseudo receiver kind of tight end role, a la like something like, what do you do if you have Cliff Kingsbury come in? Like, obviously you still have Parker. Hopefully maybe you get Myers, you got Tyquan Thornton who hopefully progresses, and then you get DeAndre Hopkins. Because if you have those guys, I'm good with it. You got speed in Thornton, you got DeAndre Hopkins that can do anything. You got Devontae Parker, who obviously we know how good he is. I don't know, but then you think of the running backs. So like where do they go? So then that means that Damian Harris is probably gone because you're not going to put so much.
There's a decent chance he's gone anyway, though. Like when I pictured this, I only thought of Ramondre Stevenson. Yeah, and like the way I look at it is, you guys, because I was fairly indifferent on Matt Patricia, pleaded for a modern offensive scheme. And this would be the ultimate. Like, if the pendulum swings both ways, this is the ultimate modern scheme where it's fast pace, a lot of no huddle. We're going to get guys deep. It's going to be a lot of play action, a lot of screens and RPOs and stuff like that. Like all modern shit that hasn't been around for the last, like it wasn't around 10 years ago.
Yeah. I don't know, RPOs, Mac Jones, that's what he did a lot in college. Like people were talking about doing. I don't know. I don't know. And then that's going to be kind of, no matter what, I'm pretty sure we're going to go into the third offensive scheme in Mac Jones's 3 years. Like
he's definitely getting a new one.
So you almost want to go into it like you want it to be a quarterback friendly one, but then do you want it to be too much on the quarterback? Like, or is that why you bring in someone like Bill O'Brien, who will rely a little bit more on the tight
Mac's third year, so it should be all on him at this point. This is when you usually give the reins to the quarterback.
This should be it. And I know that like maybe we'll give him, an extra few games because he did miss a little bit of time. He missed 3.5 games basically. So it's like, okay, but either way, this third year should be the year that it's kind of like, all right, like, we're not going to just give you the keys and say drive across country, but you're pretty much going to be driving with maybe a backseat driver here and there, but this is pretty much your team. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you go with Bill O'Brien, but then there's the familiarity a little bit with Bill O'Brien too, not only with him and the team, but with Mac and him, and just, I don't know. There's so many things, so many question marks. I mean, we have not even talked about what they're going to do at the tight end position. Both guys are still under contract. Hunter Henry's going into his last year. You can restructure his deal, lower the cap, have him there, get rid of Smith, what do you do? Offensive line. I mean, we haven't even talked about Isaiah Wynn's gone. His contract's up. Trent Brown, you can get out from under his contract and save like $5.5 million. There's so much going on. And then you talk about the people that are going to retire. Devin McCourty, Matthew Slater, they're gone. What do you do to fill those holes?
Is that a definite though? I know Slater seems like he's gone.
I think Slater is gone. I think McCourty will sign one more year. I think. Incredible. If I don't know, it doesn't seem like he is so much out the door like Slater is. But it's just those things. Like, there's so much going into this next year. And it's going to be crazy. I don't know what they do. But real quick, go around the room. Liam, start with you. What is the number one thing the Patriots should do this offseason? And then we'll kind of
bring back Dante Hightower.
and then we'll look. What's he doing? Maybe you bring him back. I don't know.
No, number one thing that the Patriots should do in this offseason.
Yeah.
A commanding offensive lineman. If I might as well stick with my same old dumb old script. Get a Orlando Pace, a Jonathan Ogden. Easier said than done, but get for a decade to go, lock down, very reliable, Pro Bowl, if not Hall of Fame, one lineman makes the entire difference.
Yeah.
Especially if we still have David Andrews, which doesn't seem like he's going anywhere. If you get one badass motherfucking guard like Orlando Pace, or a mean mugging tackle that's not a huge pussy like Trent Brown is, it makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, I agree. Al, what do you think? The number one thing?
Keep it simple. Get an offensive coordinator to turn around the offense, because Cam Achord's going to be gone.
Yep.
The special teams is going to get fixed next year. The defense is good. If you don't get a real offensive guy, we're going to see a lot of the same stuff in 2022, and we don't want that. Get a legit OC.
Yeah, that was going to be mine, and I think that the reason why that was going to be my number one first thing, the sooner you get that OC in here, the sooner he can kind of work with Belichick and figure out what they want to do, what he wants to do to run his offense. So now he's not coming into a team with a bunch of people that he doesn't know, anything like that. So I'm obviously not going to say that because that's what you said. I'll go into, I think the number one thing that you got to do, you gotta shore up the defensive backfield, I think.
Yep.
Because with Jones being 29, I mean, do you want to give him a big contract? Do you want to go out and get someone? Do you want to draft someone and have 2 second-year guys and 1 rookie starting in your backfield? Like how do you want to go about it? And then Jalen Mills, what happens with him? So I'm going to say, actually, not even just the guy, fix your cornerback room. That's what you need to do, because you got the 2 rookies, hopefully Jack Jones, Marcus Jones. But then, like I said, what do you do with Jonathan Jones? And if he's gone,
that's the number one priority, though. Like, I think they could plug and play anyone honestly, back there, and they'll be fine.
If we're being honest, what you guys said were my number 1 and number 2, basically.
Yeah, I mean, those are like glaring points.
So I gotta pick one. But honestly, though, if I was just talking to myself about what would be the number 1 thing, it'd be get an offensive coordinator fast, not just get one. Get one soon, very soon. So then you can start to build that offense. Him and Mac Jones can have Zoom meetings. They can meet together and all that stuff. So you can already start to plant the seeds that you'll hopefully benefit from when the season starts. So, he'll come in, he'll say, okay, listen, Kendrick Bourne, I don't think that we need him. We can do X, Y, and Z instead. So we got Devontae Parker. I want Myers back. Myers is the guy. Cool. Let's go. We'll bring him back. You know what? Let's go. Let's make a splash. Let's give up a first round pick for DeAndre Hopkins. Why not? You got to start building that now, because the offense, I think we can all agree, is what held this team back this year. So I think you have to immediately start fixing that. And I think the number one thing above a wide receiver, above offensive line, I think it is getting your offensive coordinator, your leader in there, and then everything else falls into place, because then you can now build a plan with your lieutenant there. You know, you're not building an army and then you're bringing in the guy like, okay, these are your guys. And it's like, yeah, I didn't pick any of them. So I don't know. It's going to be a crazy off season. It sucks that the season's over, but I think we're all kind of ready to turn the page. I'm glad that we didn't record immediately after the game, because I think that we were all upset. The group chat just went silent for a little bit, which I liked. No one was texting anymore, which I knew that we were all feeling the pain. But yeah, gonna be great. We are still going to do an episode each week. I know last off season, it was kind of, we were like, there was just a lot going on. This one though, we're still gonna do it every week. Midweek at some point, unless something crazy happens, then we'll bump it up or come back.
I seem to recall some of the most fun I've ever had on this show was when you, me, and Al talked like old Patriots players, or did like top 5 Patriots running backs and shit like that.
Jonas Gray, anyone?
Yeah, that was ludicrous. I didn't like that one, but
we will definitely come in. We may, I don't know, Liam and I have to have a talk. We may extend an offer to Al to be on the podcast weekly. Right now, this is a trial thing, so we don't know for sure. But yeah, and then hopefully
we got to negotiate a deal, crunch the numbers.
Honestly, selfishly, Al, we'll probably keep you on because maybe you can get us some guests. We'll just milk you dry there, and then we'll just send you off. So we'll be
that's the Patriots often do.
That's what I've been expecting. So that's perfect. So
okay, perfect. So who knows? Who knows who we'll get? But no, we'll definitely keep going. Expect some guests to going into the off season, just to spice things up, keep them ready, keep them good to go. But yeah, go Pats. I still Super Bowl 2023. Book it if you want. I'm already gonna buy my ticket.
That's what I was looking for.
So I'm ready to go. Al, I know that you feel the same way, as long as Mac Jones and Jacoby Myers are gone.
And Bill Belichick's not coaching.
Oh yeah, I forgot the weird hatred for the greatest coach of all time. But
exactly.
But yeah, do you guys, before we leave, any parting words for the 2022 season of the Patriots and Tuck Rule Takes, because we are all moving into 2023? Liam, love it. Exit sign.
That's all we need. That's it right there.
There it is.
That's it. That's all we need. That's it. Just end the episode right there.